Jingle, jingle, jingle. My name is Brandon Gray. I love Hallmark Christmas movies every single day.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. My name is Brian Harold. I like Christmas movies
On the Hallmark channel.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. My name is Daniel Thompson. I despise those movies all the way to Clemson. And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh, we're live. Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Oh, man.
Another episode of Deck the Hallmark. Happy Wednesday to you. Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
You know what's fun about this hump day? Can I be
Hump
honest
day?
with you?
Keep saying it.
You want to know what's crazy about this hump day? This hump day is the hump day
Hump
of
day?
the hump day of the
Hump day?
week. This is the hump day,
Hump day?
of the week and the hump day
day?
of the month.
Wow. How?
It's the 15th.
Wow.
30
it
days in the
is?
month. It's a double hump.
Hump day? Double hump day?
Double hump day. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Double hump day.
Halfway through the week, halfway through the month. Double hump day.
Hump day?
Exactly right. I want to know, how often does that happen?
Then Wednesday comes with, I would say 1 out of 7.
What do you mean?
Like
No.
the 15th has to be one of 7 different days of the week.
No, but I'm saying double hump day.
Yeah, middle of the month. Wednesday
Middle of
is
the month, middle of the week.
Yeah. So
15th.
There's
How often is Wednesday the 15th?
you're not 1 out of 7. There's a 1 out of 7 chance every month that it's going to be the 15th is going to be a Wednesday.
Check
the
that
15th's
math.
got to be one of the 7 days.
So you're saying,
February and March of this year.
We're at
okay,
two.
that's 2.
And then
So
November.
2 out of 12. 3 out of 12.
This year may have happened that. It would average out to 1 out of 7.
Sounds like there's a lot more than 1.
In November.
Interesting. That's 3.
Yeah. So
That's
1 out of
3 whole
4,
times.
1 out of
Interesting.
4 this year.
What about next year? What about next
Oh
year?
my God.
Well, here's the thing. You are being so bold about this where you're clearly
just
wrong.
math.
It's not math.
It's calendar, stars, moon.
It can't average out to 1 if it's 3. This time. That means that sometimes.
I
it's.
said 1 out of 7, not 1 out of 12.
You said 1 out of 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens once next year.
Okay.
That's it?
That's
So now
1
we're
out of
4
12. That's
24.
not looking very
1 out
good.
of 24 is now what? It's 1 out of 6. We're
My
getting
head hurts.
closer to 1 out of 7.
He is
Which
gonna.
I bet you, if we counted all of them,
All right,
we'd
go
about
to
there.
2025.
Oh my God.
Let's just.
Yeah.
While you're doing that today, downtown Greenville ice skating rink is open.
Hey-o.
Exciting.
I think we gotta go down there,
Skate,
right?
skate,
This
skate,
is the
skate,
year,
skate.
right? Skate, skate, skate.
And since it's double hump day,
Double hump day.
that means that we are about half a month from the parade downtown, which is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
exciting. We'll be down there again this year. What did you find out, Aaron? Twice night, 2025.
We have 6 and
Very
36.
interesting. So
We're
what you're
still at 1
saying
of
is that
6.
6 times
in 36
in 3 months.
In 36
that
months.
sounds a lot less like 1 in
6 times
7.
in 3
in
months.
three-
is what you just-
6 times in 3 years.
That's 1 out of
Yeah.
6. 6 and 36. Just want to
Man,
be clear.
you were
1 of 6.
looking. Well, you said 1 out of 7.
Yeah.
So just admit you're wrong.
God,
You're way
listen,
off. You're
You're way
When it
off.
comes to subjective things, I can be wrong or just have an opinion. This is fundamentally math. Is all this
Okay,
is.
so how many years do we got to go until we get 1 out of 7?
I don't know, Bran.
Thought
There's
you knew
7
that.
You
days
said
in a
it.
week.
You said it. So you should know it.
No, I don't know
You
because I
said
don't
it.
know how many. I'd have to go look at a calendar.
Then go look at a calendar. Go to a
Take a
corner.
while.
Go get in the corner and count on
I
the
got you.
calendar.
You're good.
Let's talk about everything Christmas.
Let's.
November 10th. How often does 10th land on a Friday? 1 out of 7.
Was that me?
Yeah, I was.
1 out of 7.
That's it. Why do I even try?
It
You do it
sounds just like
You
me.
do it so much
so
better
Yeah,
than me.
it's
That was
unbelievable.
me. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Was it, Dan?
Insane. Everything Christmas, and it went a little something like this. LJ is me. If she worked a real job at a real office, she is all about Christmas. She's singing Christmas songs. She's rocking antlers. She leaves for Christmas tomorrow, but her boss is like, nah, can I tell you the last place that I worked, I went into the office and I put Christmas lights on the ceiling of the meeting room in the shape of a Christmas tree.
Congrats.
So
Cool.
So she leaves tomorrow for a big Christmas, kind of like a Christmas sandwich hunt of her own almost. And her boss is like, no, you've got to work through the holidays. And so she quits via Post-it note, which seems risky. Like those things don't stay sticky forever. Like what? I mean, I guess he'd figure it out eventually. Her roommate's not excited, seeing as how she pays half the rent, but LJ reminds her that her grandma died. She promised her she'd go do this special thing. It's been 4 years. I got to do this. Don't shame me for that. This year's the year. So after some convincing, her roommate, Tori, agrees to go with her to Yuletide Springs for some Christmas magic. I love the name Yuletide Springs. It's a road trip. It is apparently going to take 3 whole days to get there. So they got it all planned out for 3 days. But LJ is like, we're going to stick to the plan. Plan don't lie, until her car immediately starts making a clunking sound. That's their terminology. A hunky tow truck driver with a Christmas horn and a Christmas sweater shows up. His name is Zach. And Zach and LJ, they have a vibe. Oh, yeah. It's the only thing I can say. They have a vibe. And they are into each other. Dan, you got an update for us?
Yeah, in 2030, it will be 96 months, and you'll have 14 of them, which is basically 1.68 something. So we're getting there. We're almost to 1.7. I'm just letting you know.
But then eventually it'll
it's math, Brand. It will go to 1 out of 7 because there's 7 days in a week, and there's one of those days in a month. That's just how that works.
I don't know why you're getting so mad. You're getting so mad at me, and you're yelling.
You're right. That's true. That's true. It's on me, guys.
I don't know why you're getting so mad about this. One of us is right.
Yeah.
And one of them's doing the work to find out that he's wrong. His name is Zach. They have a vibe. They are very into each other, so much so that they basically forget that Tori exists. The belt is fried. That's something I found out could happen. And he says, I'll fix it. So he heads back into town to get a spare belt. While waiting, Kris Kringle in a red truck shows up. He introduces himself as Kris Kringle. I don't know what they want from me. And he magically has the right replacement belts in his truck. When Zach comes back, he's like, oh, wow, it's fixed. And she's like, yeah, Kris Kringle fixed it. No big deal. So I guess we'll just head out. And he's like, well, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should come. We got the Christmas festival coming up, and Chester's real far away. And so maybe you should just come here, stay the night. And she's like, well, okay, I guess we could maybe stay the night and then leave early the next morning, make up the time.
Come on.
And so they head into town, and they end up finding Chris is there. Chris is playing Santa at a community center, doing magic tricks, little card tricks for children. David Blanningham. Tori bumps into the best I can describe this guy. He's an adult Harley Kiner from Boy Meets World. And adult Harley Kiner, the sparks are flying between him and Tori, but what can you do? And Chris watches them and also sees LJ and Zach walking around town, and he's like, yep, just as I planned. LJ and Zach are walking around the Christmas market, talking about where LJ was going and how it sounds magical. Chris ends up tracking them down, gives them each on his way out of town. He says, hey, I got some goodies for you. A gift voucher for a random shop. You'll know it when you see it. A stamp and a fortune cookie.
You got it.
All normal things that you give to somebody on their way out of town.
Normal, yeah.
LJ and Tori head out when LJ realizes that she didn't give Zach her number, but LJ is like, it's okay. Our paths will cross again if it's meant to be. Man, imagine that outlook on life. Dan, did you get to 1 in 7?
I stopped looking at in the next 10 years, it's 19 times in 132 months, which is 1 in 6.94 days.
Okay,
so that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that is, you cannot round that up.
Oh, 100% did.
What is it? What'd you say?
1 in 6.94.
6.94. You don't round up until you get to 5.
That's right.
So what? It would be 1 in 6.9. I'm fine with that. Sure, 1 in 6.9.
Good, as long as you're fine being wrong.
I'm fine. Here we go. You know who cares most about this?
Who?
Someone who doesn't care about Christmas.
What?
cares a lot about this. Means the Christmas spirit and Christmas magic of just being whatever is gone.
How are those two things connected?
A star.
The stars.
Well, one of us is going to go freaking nuts over this movie, so
right.
let's wait and
And
see.
it's me.
LJ and Tori head out.
Way.
So they spot Chris on the side of the road on their way out of town. His tire has a flat, so they agree to give him a ride and all of his presents to the next town. They end up in another small town where they deliver presents. Gives LJ some advice. Tori bumps into the Boy Meets World guy again, and then Zach randomly shows up, and Chris could not be happier about this. Now that both of the women have strange men by their side, they are sent deep into the woods for an activity. It's dark, and they find a box to turn on lights, but they need a code. LJ is like, well, this is obvious. We have the fortune cookie. They open up the fortune cookie. It has a code. That code works. The lights turn on. The lights are gnarly. It's a magical time out there in the woods with those strangers. LJ and Zach are like, this is wild, but Tori is like, he's a magician. It's a trick. No big deal. Being a real Dan about this situation. 1 in 7. Whatever it is, it's great. And they spend time taking selfies and just kind of like looking at each other. Like, do you think we should kiss? You think we, like, right now or later? LJ asks Zach if he'll go the rest of the trip with them. And he's like, sorry, I have a business to run. Very like, hey, I don't know what you want from me. Harley Kiner from Boy Meets World tags along, though, and they end up making it to Yuletide Springs. It is more magical than she could have ever hoped. She gets up to the tree that she was supposed to hang her grandma's ornament on. She gets on the ladder. She falls off the ladder.
Oh, my God.
The ornament breaks. She runs off. She's crying. My ornament. When you know it, though, Chris is in Yuletide Spring. And she's like, how did you make it here? And he's like, I had a wonderful tow truck driver. She's like, tow truck driver? Like, starts going through the crowd, ends up back at the tree. Zach is there. They find each other. Yeah. They make it back to Chris's truck, and he's gone. Inside are 2 gifts that he left behind, as well as his identification, which they choose to go and look at. And it turns out his name is Chris Bronstad. Not Chris Kringle, Chris with a C. Can you believe this stuff? They ask the mayor about him, and he's like, yeah, Chris is the best illusionist I know. Plus also the best Santa. You're not the first people to start believing that he's the real Santa, though, believe you me. They end up finding Chris. They bring him the presents that he forgot, and they go on their way. They stumble into a store. It is the store that they have the gift certificate for. Inside, they find an exact replica of the grandma's ornament. Replica.
It's a handmade ornament. So somebody, or is it the ornament?
It's the same. It looks like the same.
Right.
It looks like a replica.
I think it's a replica too. I appreciate you with me on that.
The gift card is the exact amount needed. 32.52. They put the ornament on the tree, and LJ and Zach kiss good ones, and that, my friends, was Everything Christmas.
We did it.
Yep.
It's been a good day so far. I was right about the month thing. We're going to talk about this movie.
If you were watching on Philo.tv/DTH, you saw him do a very fun, like he was dancing and lifting weights kind of thing. It was fun.
Yeah.
Fun time.
That's exactly right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Deck the Hallmark. Hello, everybody. We're back. We're talking about Everything Christmas, the Friday night movie from Hallmark Channel. We're going to break this movie down with 4 segments. We're going to start with the hot take, where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back, and I'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah.
You okay?
I'm choked up there.
I'll do this quick because you're practically vibrating over here. And
Yeah,
we got to
yeah.
get down to Crazy Town real fast.
Yeah, we do.
I love this. This idea is a great idea. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
The whole set's going on.
I'm vibrating.
It's a Christmas quake.
A Christmas quake.
A Christmas quake. A Christmas quake.
So this is a great idea. Like, this is a fun idea.
Yeah.
But there was a certain point. I think it was when Chris, not Santa, the illusionist, suggested before they hit the road again, they grab lunch, where I got off board and it started to stress me out. And it was just too much like just too much off schedule,
Too much road trip.
too
shenanigans.
much not road tripping.
His point is if she has, like, she's promised her grandma she's going to do this thing, and she has a schedule
Yeah.
for 4 days.
No, 100%. I that does not surprise me.
And Tori is working. Like she's working.
Yes.
She's supposed to be working, and the whole time she keeps saying, "I have work to do. I have work to do." And they're not letting her get any of her work done, and she's not leaving. And so it just stressed me out.
Can you imagine Brian planning a road trip and then you wanting to stop at every roadside
every spot.
attraction of
or we
any
get
kind?
somewhere and you just won't leave. Like you just won't. At a certain point, I'm like, I'm leaving. Like I'm out of here. So it was just. I needed a phone call from Randy, her boss, saying, "Hey, take the rest of the time off," or like I needed something to happen where they were allowed to have all this free time, and it didn't happen, and I was very distracted by it. So I wish that was different, that situation. And it kind of felt a little small. And maybe it was because it was all them. Like if Santa was doing this with other people, and like there were other people having coincidences happening and being illusioned to and whatnot.
Illusions.
Yeah, you know, it would have been a little more.
Stop illusioning me.
Yeah, illusioning. So I get the idea is really cool. It just stressed me out because there were too many things they were supposed to be doing. I guess I need Santa to come to me and be like, "You need to focus on."
Ryan, I hate to interrupt you here.
Yep.
We do have Bran live in Crazy Town.
Let's
Bran,
get right
can
to
you
it.
hear us?
Do you know how when like method actors are getting ready to do a job and they'll be like, let me go like shadow a firefighter so I know what it's like. I felt like Cindy Busby shadowed me for my entire life to prepare for this role. A role of a lifetime for her, I will say, by the way. A fantastic performance by Cindy Busby in this movie. Was she playing me? I don't know. Maybe. I felt it. I felt like I was seeing myself on screen. This movie has it all for me. One, I love a road trip. I love, good Christmas festivals and whatnot. Sure. I love, is it Christmas magic? Is it not? Is it Santa? It all happened for me. I had a fantastic time. And are there things that these fellas are going to bring up about this movie as to why it's not a God movie? Maybe. But you know what I got to say about that? Not gonna listen. This movie ruled. It's not at the top of my list.
Okay.
It is at the top of my list for fun. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
More fun
a lot
than
of
Santa
Christmas
Summit.
cheer. Yeah.
That's an interesting take there.
But I think Santa Summit is a better made film. But this movie just gave me all that. Oh yeah. Oh. Love this movie. Loved it. Dan.
Thanks, Bran. This movie's trash. Here's the thing, is that if it does start off with all of the enthusiasm and spirit and sheer wonderment that Bran has, and something that off the record I love about Bran, like that stuff.
Keep that strike that from the record.
That stuff, because we're supposed to keep up appearances, Bran.
Like you would tell me, but you wouldn't tell.
You would keep your Christmas lights on during the daytime, like a monster. Can we strike? Can we melt those polar ice caps from here if we try? Let me see if we can go bright. Can we go brighter?
Listen,
Can
here's the thing.
The
scientist says we've already. They say we've already gone too far.
Why hold back now? Yeah.
We are going to drown. So mine is who cares at this point, right?
So the movie starts off with all of that stuff that I love about Brandon, and Busby is so great doing this. And then somewhere along the way, it wasn't the stress of the anxiety of this woman needs to be working instead of road tripping. Like that didn't
What a
bother
ridiculous
me.
statement.
What bothered me is that they had an opportunity halfway through this movie to really invest, lean, and go all in with this crazy bonkers new idea. And that movie is a movie that I would be here for. But instead of that, they dial up the serious. They dial back the Christmas magic. In fact, at the end, you find out that there's a logical explanation for everything that happened in this movie. No. And then you're left to wonder if it's really Christmas magic or not.
I love
and
that.
I hated that.
Okay.
If you would have given me a movie that follows through on the promise of this person's crazy about Christmas and the magic of the season just wins the day every time, then there would be no wait what's in this movie, because everything can just be explained by Christmas magic over and over again.
There are no wait
and that
what's
is a movie that I can get behind 100%. But instead of building to that crescendo of Christmas magic is amazing, just embrace it. You have no choice but to embrace it. Bran is infectious because he really does care that much about Christmas. This movie starts with that promise and does not deliver that. Instead becomes lame, like really lame in the process. And like by the time they get to that store and the gift card matches, Brian actually has video of me, and we weren't playing this.
Oh, yeah.
Live time booing that scene, like actively yelling at the screen, like I'm sorry, you can't do this and have it both ways.
I'm so happy I wasn't here.
This movie isn't good. It's not even okay. It's just outside of my bottom 5. And the reason it's just outside of my bottom 5 is because the first 25 minutes or so are a lot of fun, and Cindy Busby is great. And also, Corey Sevier has been in better movies
Severe
this
weather warning.
year. His acting ability.
But do you not love Cindy Busby in this movie?
I think Cindy Busby is an absolute delight in this movie. And I think that it is wasted after the first 30 minutes of this movie. I think Sevier in like Take Me Back for Christmas or even some of the other movies we've watched, he doesn't feel like he really commits to this bit. And it's just not the best role for him, because we love him. I just don't think it's the best role for him. I think somebody else who would really commit to the Christmas crazy here and really love Christmas, because he's supposed to love it as much as she does.
Sure.
And he never even comes, like, imagine if we had like one of like, someone who really could dial that up, like has more of a goofy charm that's on the network. Like that would really have made this movie, I think.
Should have been me.
How about Michael Rady in that role?
Okay, Michael Rady can play me.
Like, so I just, it just, unfortunately, it becomes a really, really bad movie. And the people in the chat, I can see from all
what I
casts,
think that Severe Weather Warning could do. Like, I think he's played this before.
I just don't think he did. Yeah. I think he...
I understand what you're saying with that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you would... Okay, good. I just think...
That's the one thing that I can...
The promise of this film, unfortunately, doesn't deliver, because by the end of the movie, it isn't everything Christmas. It's just kind of some things Christmas. It doesn't really go... It doesn't go as hard as it should.
When Cindy Busby hears that a tow truck driver brought Chris to town, and she's like going through the town and just like, tow truck driver. It's just so good. The one thing that can you imagine, Dan, being so like for the man that you're watching this movie and you're thinking about, but the job. Imagine being that person. Imagine being like, man, I love corporate America so much that
we were watching this movie together and we were getting mad at very different things. but
the job.
But we both ended up at the same place.
You have a commitment.
I was on a road trip, right? And I promised my grandmother, whom I love dearly, listen to yesterday's episode. I promised her that I would go do the thing we'd always planned on doing. And I had a schedule where I was like, we're going to be here on this day, here on this day, here on this. So you guys have all ridden in my truck before. I like to make it to places before I say I'm going to make it there. All of these detours would have driven me up the wall. I'm not worried about the woman who decided to come with me who's maybe going to lose her job. Like, that is not my problem. She made the call to come with me. There's nothing I can do there. But between the two of us, it was a pretty downer. We were not in the Christmas spirit here, Brent.
I'm sorry.
And by the end of it, I was booing, and we do have that video, and I'm sure we'll get it. And Melanie Ruther is thrilled. Yeah. a lot of
Aaron,
all
I'm sorry I wasn't here. Yeah, it was a downer.
Yeah, she didn't even stay in there and watch it with us.
No.
Well, I watched it this week.
I know, but like you could have watched it again and you heard what was happening and you said I'm out.
Early on, though, I was like more invested in it. I was like, if they're gonna continue this up, I'm here for it.
I am losing my mind.
I believe we even turned it off mid-kiss to head out for lunch, right?
No. We did not do that, but that would have been perfect.
I hope y'all like. I hope
this is not. All I'm saying is what
your
they
dads
end up
kick
with.
You out.
This is not what Christmas is all about.
But you would. How jealous would you be if we got a scavenger hunt?
I would be like, I'd say like, you had that coming, and then I'd be like, are you lucky? I love a scavenger. That would be all.
My heart so happy.
We should do a downtown Christmas scavenger hunt for the vlog.
Oh, you know what I just realized is that last movie we did, the Vic Webster one, is pretty much the Mice on Main.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
And we didn't mention it. And
Shout out.
Greenville's a sponsor. This is living. This is
This is living. This is Greenville.
Yeah.
This is all the feels. It's where we talk about when this movie gave us all of those feels. Brian.
Yeah, oddly, the magic trick early on worked well for me, where it sort of set up the idea of it got the adults in the room questioning what is happening, because a really good magic trick is impressive. And so the fact that it would start out with that, it's like, whoa, all right, we're setting the tone here. Like, Christmas magic is on the table full, like, this is happening, and we're off and running. And just the fact that somebody can, as an adult, like, have somebody totally stump you on something, just doesn't happen every day. So that worked for me. I wouldn't mind seeing a nice magic trick a few times a week. Maybe like the hump day of the hump days.
Hump
Be a
day.
nice day to see a magic trick.
I love magic so much. Sometimes Penn and Teller have a show called Fool Us with Penn and Teller.
Is it Penn and Teller who starred in that?
Come on, Penn and Teller have a show called Fool Us
with Penn and Teller. That's the name of the show.
That's unbelievable.
And I'll watch it, like videos on YouTube on a regular basis. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And it's people like trying to fool Penn and Teller. And if Penn and Teller can, but they have
Figure
to
it out.
explain that they know how they did the trick without, saying the exact way they did the trick, because that would be
giving away the trick.
so they're doing
right?
like certain clues that you would only get if you know how to do the trick. Anyway, a while ago I talked about how, man, like, when is Titusville High School gonna change the name of the auditorium or something like that? Like, name a building after me. Of
course.
And I think that
what
while
Christmas is all about
while
as
it's
well.
a nice dream, it's not gonna happen. I don't do this for the accolades.
But here we go.
But if someone
they're not coming.
somewhere, if a city
They're
somewhere,
not coming.
namely Greenville, visit Greenville, yeah, that Greenville, this is living, this is Greenville, wanted to put up a statue of me. And its whole purpose is talking about how much I loved Christmas. I would be cool with that. So listen, Greenville, Knox, congrats on your victory. First order of business, we need a statue of Bran on Main Street ASAP, and it just says "Love Christmas lots and lots" or something like that.
best part of
because
that-
there is a person in this movie who has a statue of himself only because he loved Christmas,
Yeah.
and that is now again not for the accolades.
Yeah, Main Street is filled with statues of people that
Yeah.
like founded the city. Can you imagine walking by Vardry McBee and Joel Poinsett to Bran
Yeah.
because he loved Christmas?
Lots
I'm
and
here for
lots.
that. That would
Thank
be
you.
great.
Thank you. Those guys, some of those guys were probably racist.
They both of those guys were really
So
Poinsett more than McBee, but both very racist. Yes, if
exactly
you want a
right.
history
I
lesson,
love
I'll give you-
Christmas.
and Knox would definitely do that for you. I think.
I'm going to email Knox.
Yeah, I think he would. I'll talk to Knox too, and I
Okay.
think for you, I think he'd definitely do that for you.
I'll leave out the fact that I didn't vote for him.
There it is.
Dan?
Yeah. This movie did make me very happy for Cindy Busby.
I'm for term limits.
Cindy Busby is one of our favorite people that we have on this podcast. She is a delight and is a ray of sunshine. And sometimes she gets saddled with really bad movies. I mean, there are 2 Waterfall movies and a Godwink movie that she is trying her darndest to make work, and she never
And a
gives
National
anything.
Park movie.
Say what?
And a
National Park movie. She never gives under 100%. She is unbelievably kind and generous with her time. She donated to Kids in the Spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, like, has a heart of gold,
real good
is
time.
so thoughtful. And for her to finally get a role like this, that she gets to do something different and weird and eccentric and out of the box, and for her to crush it the way she did, it made my heart so happy. So, Cindy, if you're listening, regardless of what I thought about the movie as a whole, I was thrilled to get to see you show what you could do. You absolutely crushed it, and you deserve it. So, really good job, Cindy.
And just like let me know like where you were watching me live my life from. Like, were
right.
you like watching from afar? Just like, did you do like interviews with like my family and relatives?
Family, friends.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be on Main Street. Like
Any street downtown?
any street, even on the outskirts.
On the out, you would go out like where? Like Travelers Rest?
No. I would go as
never.
far as I'd like to keep it in downtown. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back here. Take
But
the
he's
whole-
not here for the accolades.
No,
it doesn't
don't
matter.
hear
It's
what
not
I'm-
about me.
doesn't even have to be life size.
Just like full size?
I could be one of the mice.
Like a full size
Like a
Hot
full
Wheel.
size, not a life size, full size.
Full size, yes.
That's right.
Exactly
Not a
right.
toy, not the
Toy, little
one.
guy, like
No.
a mouse.
Like a
The
full
mouse.
size.
Like a full size.
Not a fun size, full size.
Big enough to for me to be able to catapult myself.
Yeah.
Let's as a callback to yesterday's
episode,
intro.
if you're listening chronologically.
If not, you're gonna love
put a pin
that.
in that.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
put a pin
love
in it.
that.
You're
It's
gonna love
go
it.
nuts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bank it. Let's get to the what. It's where we talk about what this
what?
movement is. Go
Let's
wait.
get to the what?
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yesterday was wait what?
What?
The Ford Bronco, the serpentine belt, did it break or just worn out or something? Those vehicles haven't been off the assembly line for
They're
what, a couple
brand
of 2
new.
3 years? Like those things are brand new.
And they tried to not show you it was a Bronco because they knew that it was going to break down early in the movie. And then they missed it on a couple spaces. And then later in the movie, you know it's a Bronco.
Yeah.
But for that belt to break there was had to be
tough.
Christmas magic is all I'm saying.
That's
had
all-
to be.
It had to have been.
Yeah.
That's what it
and
was.
him being able to fix a serpentine belt in 30 seconds or less.
In a-
Also
in a
Christmas
tan
magic.
coat.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
No
No
grease.
problem. No grease on it.
Man.
That's right.
Good place to break down. So we were just confused by this. I guess we just misunderstood. She said cross country trip from Illinois to Ohio.
Yeah.
It's not a cross country trip. I guess it was a
That's
stop
the
in
first
Ohio.
stop, but she's still to go cross country if you start in Illinois is very difficult.
You're not really going cross country unless you're.
And I want to be clear, and someone
Big
did
loop.
bring it up in the chat as well. They do traverse across some beautiful snow-capped mountains in between Illinois and Ohio.
They're majestic.
I mean,
if you have a chance to
if
see
you
them.
have a chance to drive
Yeah.
from Illinois
Yeah.
to Ohio in a straight line, the mountains, they're beautiful. They're unbelievable.
They're unbelievable, literally.
I mean, they're literally unbelievable. Yes, they are. Yeah.
And all the neighbors, there was a scene where she was driving through, like, I guess it was when they got to the town. What's the name of the town again, Brand?
Yuletide
Springs.
Springs.
They get there. All the neighbors are in the yards waving and decorating, and they show her waving back, but her car, the tint is illegal, how dark it was on her car.
It's almost like she's not driving.
Yeah, it was almost like it was somebody
Yeah.
else in
Yeah.
that car. It was so dark. Like, pull her over immediately. That's so unsafe. All right, that was it. Brandon, did you find anything?
I only have a couple. One, apparently
This movie rocks too hard.
apparently
That's the
his
problem.
Apparently his grandma made his sweater at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, that too.
That looked also like a replica. So everybody's grandma here is not making homemade stuff.
right.
No way she handmade that. And last but not least, there is a song in this movie that they played the same part of 3 different times.
Correct.
What was up with that? And one time they did it within 2 minutes of each other. Like, what happened? Why would they playing this song so many times? I don't know. Dan?
At the beginning of this movie, when Cindy Busby quits her job, outside of her cubicle in that office space, there are signs everywhere that say respect.
Cubicle.
Cubicle? It's cubicle?
It's cubicle.
I'm sorry, it's cubicle, everybody. Chored.
Good one.
Chored Overstreet. There are signs that say respect the photocopier. You know what doesn't respect the photocopier? Printing in solid gray. The background of all these papers is not white. They have printed in solid gray with black on top of it. You have used all of the ink in that copier in the 3 pages you printed. Don't do that. They try to, when the car breaks the first time and they decide to go to town, her and Sevier have a conversation where he's like, it's going to be dark soon. And then they get into town and then they go to the community center and Santa's reading to kids. And then he says it's night outside. It doesn't how many times, no matter how many times you say it, it's just not dark outside. I don't know what to tell you. You can try to establish that it's the evening. It is clearly not the evening.
It's a magic trick.
It's clearly the middle
It's
of
an
the day.
illusion.
It's an illusion. Illusion of daytime.
Illusion of daytime for sure. I believe it was the poet laureate Brian Harold that once said while watching this movie, there's a fine line between Christmas and horror. This is creepy.
Yeah.
The Santa in this movie is creepy. The fact that
Wrong.
she continues to get waylaid in this movie
Wrong.
is super duper horror movie
Yeah.
level creepy. I never was very comfortable with it in a way a fun magic Santa should be. Like Snowden Christmas, Bethany Joy Lynn's Andrew Walker. Great magic Santa. One of the best TV Christmas movies ever made. Great. This is not one. This guy did not have that feel for me.
Sad.
There is the biggest wait what in this movie by a mile is
Country mile?
She is
Regular
on
mile.
the tree.
Country mile wide?
Country mile.
Whoa!
A country mile.
We got a country mile. Wait, what, everybody?
She's about to put her ornament on the tree, which is not a real tree, by the way.
Yeah.
It is boards with garland wrapped around it. It's not even a real tree. That way, what is massive, but
I think that's
not
fine.
It. It's not a real tree.
Someone who doesn't have a real
That's
tree.
right. Of course, you think it's fine.
I think it's
you
fine.
don't have any standards.
I've changed my tune on this one.
She's about to hang her ornament on the tree. She's on a ladder. Her best friend in the world is behind her, not 4 feet. You see her heel slip. You see her best friend look at her like, what's going to happen next? Then you see her go, what? Oh! And that friend doesn't even try to catch her, put a hand up, do anything. As soon as you see her up there, just putting one hand up, they let her fall head first. They're as close to me as Bran is to me right now. And they're like, I guess if she's going to fall, she's going to fall. There's nothing we can really do about that. We got to see how this plays out.
And here's the thing. What if we learn anything from doing Fast Fridays, Dan, it's that you just need to fall on literally anything other than the ground.
That's
and
right.
then you would be fine. So you guys just throw anything underneath her. It doesn't really matter what it is. It could be spikes. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
it's better
matter.
than the ground.
But her friend just watching her fall for 30 seconds was brutal.
She was captivated by the magic of the fake tree.
That's right.
I think what is going to be wild is if there ever, and I don't know if there ever will be a day though, Dan, that you end up getting a fig tree for one reason or another, it will be hilarious. And
the thing is, I'm not like the tree's a very important part of Christmas.
Sure, I agree.
But my kids,
I agree.
My kids would lose their ever loving mind going out to the Christmas tree farm and picking a Christmas tree, something we've done since they were literally 1 year old. If I had to look my son Jay in the eye and say we were getting a fake Christmas tree, he would.
But what if you told Jay, instead of doing that, we're going to put our fake tree up November 1st?
Here's all I can tell you is if I told him we weren't going to the farm to get a tree, this is a kid that loves Christmas like Bran used to, right? So like he
Oh man.
Is he coming for my statue? He's coming for my statue.
I can tell you already, based upon what my weekend was, he got his first pair of Christmas pajamas of the season, which were in Target, and he begged and begged, and his mom caved and got him a pair of Christmas pajamas and Santa socks. He also got a Abominable Snowman nutcracker. He has been singing Christmas songs all weekend. If we didn't go to the Christmas tree farm to get this kid a tree, it would be soul crushing for him.
But what if he already had the tree? Like, do you guys drive by my house and he's like, why can't we put a tree up like
he
Uncle
likes
Brand?
to look at it, but he never asked that because I just tell him the farm's not open yet, and he's right. I'm right. It's not open yet. So
one of these days he's going to put it together. He's going to realize maybe Uncle Brand's
And then
right.
you're gonna kick him out.
He always has a place over at Uncle Brand's
I
house.
bet he does.
It's time for I'm staying in my house.
Don't let the door hit you.
What a
Take
move.
your
Where the
painting.
scavenger hunt
You
split
can
ya.
take your painting.
That's right.
Nothing else.
But come back later when I'm dead. You might find a fun little puzzle.
Sweet.
I'm already
a
percolating.
little something.
I'm already thinking through it up here. I've got the first 3 clues already out here in the
Outside
old
movie.
chamber.
Yeah, that's right.
It's time for what the Hallmark story wonder what could have been maybe happening is.
Yep.
Right?
I know it's not a super Christmassy thought, but my first thought when she
What happens when you die?
slipped off that you become a statue. Slipped off that ladder and hit the ground real hard with her head was that looks like a lawsuit. Like immediately I'm
Yes.
thinking you put your hand on your head, you check your neck, you sit down, you ask for water, and you lawyer up real quick. You get one of those things around
Brian,
your neck.
is he a monster?
I think you got to protect.
And then
gotta
you
look out
go
for
right
yourself.
back to working for the
That's
man.
right. Get back to work. You just got to think about your health, the future. What if you have an injury from that long term? Like you think you're okay, you're not okay. You got to just protect yourself. And so, how much do you get out of a potential settlement there? I don't know. Just wondering. For a
Listen,
friend.
my biggest question is a classic one, but obviously she is now fallen in love with Yuletide Springs.
Duh.
But our guy, whose name I remember,
Zach.
comes from a pretty Christmassy town
as well. That's
she is now without job. She can go
She's without
anywhere.
job.
Where's she gonna? Is she gonna want to stay here in Yuletide Spring? Does she want to move on? Does she want to
go back to Ohio?
You think so? Back to because he's got his business. It's a pretty Christmassy town. Yeah, this is one of those ones where I do kind of wonder. I wonder what happened because she's open to doing whatever.
Yeah, I gave away mine a little bit in the wait what, but they build up this tree for so long in this movie that she's got to hang this ornament on, and then it's not like it's a fake tree. It's not like it's a tree like, I'm not here to do a bit. Like, if it was a really nice, ginormous Balsam Hill tree, it would look beautiful, right? Like, it is literally 2x4s crafted in the shape of a tree with like garland and ribbon around it to hide the fact that it is 2x4s. And I just want to know, from the making of this film, they got to this scene and they were like, we don't have a big Christmas tree, I guess. And so they just decided they had to make one with 2x4s. Like, I'm very, very confused by that.
Fair.
Yeah.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Now, you might have heard about someone falling off a ladder, getting hurt, etc.
They bumped heads.
Was there any fighting?
Was there any fighting? Did that happen as a result of a fight? I could have blinked. I could have missed it. I don't know. But Vic Webster, he doesn't miss anything. Here's Fighting Chance with Vic Webster.
Fighting Chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Was the fighting in the movie? Did someone get hurt? It's a fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
Did you see the car chase and the shootout and the martial arts fight scene? Yeah, neither did I.
A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
Yeah.
Man.
You almost got me there.
Yep, I thought he had me for sure.
All right, everybody, congratulations. We're back tomorrow with another one. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast. Is produced by Aaron Shea. What? For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.